Hello and welcome to Alan's Viewpoints. Wasn't sure what I was going to do, if I was going to do anything today. Went off, did my biking, had a good time. Thought I'd take a nice, easy ride today. Turns out that I pushed it down the trail at almost 18 miles an hour for 6.5 miles. Pretty good for a 60-year-old. Then I said, well, you know what? I'll turn around. I'll come back. I'll take it easy and put in a much more leisurely rest of my hour ride and pushed it through at somewhere between 14 and a half and 15 miles an hour. So didn't exactly take it easy. But hey, you know, you get my age, you get kind of dumb, think you can do stuff that the young people do. I've only been out like 10 or 12, maybe 12 times this year. So I still have a lot. Obviously, I'm still in my riding shirt. So, but thought I'd come back and talk a little bit about what's been going on and the violence that's occurring now against ICE officials. And that is a product that is definitely media driven. The media is driving this. They're pushing people, telling people that it's against the Constitution. The left is doing that. The Democrats are doing that, saying that nobody's obeying law. No, actually, they're trying to enforce the laws of the United States of America. And the people trying to interfere and say that it's illegal are the ones that actually help create some of these laws. Some of them have been around for a very long time. Of course, those guys in Congress have been around for a very long time. Once you get in, you never get out, which is horrible. Term limits would be the best thing. We need to find some good way of doing that. Whether you limit the 6 terms in the House and 2 terms in the Senate, and you get a total of 12 years in both, might be the only way to do this. But that's not what we're talking about. What I want to do is bring up a video about what happened and the violence, and then we'll talk about what my viewpoint is on this whole thing, and we'll go from there. So here's our breaking news. Helps if I hit the right button. Ooh.
Over the 4th of July holiday. This is just one of several recent incidents targeting immigration officials or facilities. Jonathan Hunt has got everything that we know so far, and he joins us now. Hi, Jonathan.
Good evening, John. 10 people have now been charged with attempted murder in the attack on an ICE facility in Alvarado, Texas. These are those 10 who investigators say took part in a coordinated ambush that began with the attackers dressed in what investigators describe as black military-style clothing, shooting fireworks at the Prairieland Detention Center and spray painting the facility and vehicles parked there with words like traitor and other slogans. A police officer arriving on the scene was then shot in the neck by one of the group who'd hidden among nearby trees, while another attacker, also across the street, allegedly fired dozens of rounds at correctional officers who had walked out of the facility. As well as weapons and body armor, police also discovered anarchist literature and flyers in one of the vehicles used by the attackers. Separately, investigators are looking into the background of a man shot dead by Border Patrol agents after he opened fire on them at a facility in McAllen, Texas yesterday.
There are some connections, but I'm not going to get in the middle of that criminal investigation. It's ongoing. There's a well-planned attack, and it's because of the rhetoric. These nuts that want to take it beyond protesting to criminal activity.
And among the big questions yet to be answered is if there is some form of coordination behind all these attacks on ICE and Border Patrol, who is organizing the violence and who might be funding it? John?
All right. I'm sure the investigation will reveal that. Jonathan Hunt for us.
All righty.
Breaking tonight, several arrests and when authorities...
There we go. Got it paused. So there you go. Hey, we have now coordinated, and this is no different. This is Antifa. They dress in black. They wear masks. And sorry to tell all these Antifa folks and that, you are the newest generation of the brown shirts that went out and did things for the Nazis. What you're doing is actually the fascist thing to do. So ICE is upholding the laws of the nation. The laws of the nation say if you come across the border illegally, you are subject to arrest and can be put into prison for up to 6 months. It is a criminal offense. They want to say it's a civil offense, and actually it may actually be listed as a civil offense, but it's still on the federal books as breaking the law. It might not be a state law. So the states go, well, you're not breaking any states' laws coming across the border. Well, you're breaking a federal law. And now the states are saying we're not going to enforce federal laws. And those are lack of a better word, treasonous things. The states are to help the feds enforce federal law. They are to help follow federal law. We don't have that in this nation anymore. So as much as you want to go and do all this stuff and you put these things in and do things, this little book says otherwise. What we have is now mayors breaking the law, creating sanctuary cities. City councils are along with that because they're approving this stuff. Governors who decide that they're a sanctuary state and are harboring all of these people. Now, I went through in another video, and you can find it in my other postings, and it will appear shortly, or has already appeared, depending on when I post this. And depending on how much it is, state, local, federal could be spending, depending on how much it is, $500 million or $500 billion to $1 trillion a year just to take care of the illegals. Add that to the fact that they're sending the money home and taking our wealth and sending it to their own country to do things, building up their own country, tends to be a problem. But the fact is that these people are now coordinating violence, and they've ratcheted up again. It starts off with the black outfits and masks and everything, and burning down buildings. We saw Antifa and everybody in the Black Lives Matter do this in 2020. Huge swath of Minneapolis destroyed. For what purpose? What did everybody gain out of that? Other than that, the fact that, oh, wait a minute, you burned down black businesses. In some cases, you blew up and burned down a police precinct. But as soon as you put on a black outfit, you put on a mask to hide what your identity is, you've now crossed over being something that civil protest is fine. That's what our Constitution was for and what we protect. That's freedom of free speech. As soon as you put on that black uniform, you cover your face with a mask, you have left being civil discourse, and you have now decided that you are going to perpetuate violence. You are now a lawbreaker. And sooner or later, we have to start arresting these people and making them pay consequences. My thought would be, and my son doesn't like it, I think that you arrest them, you take their mugshot with the mask on, without the mask, you pair them up, you post them up, you give them their name, you put it on a billboard, and you say, by the way, here's your local Antifa member. Every one of them needs to be treated that way. You want to protest and you want to do this stuff, take the mask off. Let us see who you are so that we know who is doing this. Now, these 10 people were caught. They were captured. Um,
Detention
let's see if I can get their mug shots here.
thing.
Now been investigators say
Here it is.
took part.
So these people are now going to get charged with attempted murder. And it's a good thing. And it needs to happen more. You need to go up and do this in Portland, Seattle. Antifa should not get away with what they've done. The police up there and have let them free roam. You can't let that happen anymore. If you want to have this nation, and we're a nation of laws, all ICE is trying to do is enforce the laws of this nation. If you're here illegally, if you came here and you've got a green card, and I feel bad for these people who got a green card and keep renewing it. Well, after 10 years, why do you keep renewing it? Why don't you become a citizen? Why did you have had the opportunity to become a citizen? For some reason, you choose not to, and you just keep a green card. That means you have more alliances to your own country, and you really don't want to be here. Yet you're here. Why? Because you can earn better income, send it back to your home country, and take care of everything there. My family, half my family, my wife, I have 2 daughters and a son that immigrated here from the Philippines. So yeah, I have a very blended family. I have 2 boys of my own before I got married. We went through the process. She got here. We got married. I filed the paperwork right away. And by 2014, my wife was a U.S. citizen. We had gone through the process. So we completed all that very rapidly. And she got here in 2008, so we were married in 2009. And by 2014, she was a U.S. citizen. It can happen that quickly if you choose to and if you follow everything. And I feel bad for these people that have been here and had a green card for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, but they broke the law at some point in time, which is why they never applied. Once they did that, they just tried to get away with renewing their green card. So recently there was somebody who actually, and I wish I could find it here, he committed crimes. He came here illegally, so he broke the law that way. He had broken some other laws, and yet somehow during the Joe Biden administration, he was given a green card, which is absolutely astounding because in my whole world, I have another son in the Philippines we've been trying to get here. We filled in his paperwork in 2012. Might have been 2011 that I actually started the paperwork, but it doesn't matter. 2011, 2012. And in 2020, we were notified that, hey, good news. He finished his processing and he would be able to come as soon as they had a visa for him. So that's 5 years now. We've waited for the visa for 5 years. No green card, no notification, no nothing. Yet they have green-lighted people who don't deserve to be here and promoted it. And it costs this nation piles and piles of money. You want to know why your taxes go up? You want to know why the federal government has such a big deficit? Your state government has a deficit. Your city government has a deficit. Look at the city of Chicago, sanctuary city. They're spending money all over the place. They're trying to buy illegals and keep them there. Yet the rot that's happening inside of these cities, and it's on my list of things to talk about. People don't want to know what I think about what's going on with these major cities, but you guys have let it rot. The Democrats who run these cities have let the cities rot. And this is what we get. The education system doesn't say, hey, look, this is the law. The news media should say, look, these people have broken the law. We understand. They want to be here, but they need to come here legally. I have tried for, 13 years now, guaranteed it's 13 years, to get one of my sons in the Philippines here because he was not under the age of 21, and it's next to impossible for me to do it the legal way. So my big thing is I always joke every time I see him in the Philippines. I always go back and tell him, look, just start collecting inner tubes. When you feel you've got more than enough, double the number. Inflate a bunch of them, tie them together. Keep your spares handy. Take it down to the sea. Follow the current. It's going to take you up past Japan, past Korea, the Aleutian Islands, Alaska, Canada. Said, don't get off when you get to Washington, state of Washington. They do good things probably for illegals, but you really want to just keep going. Keep that raft going. Obviously, you're replacing the inner tubes when one goes flat. You're replacing it with a new one, and so on. So you just periodically doing that. And when you get down and you finally see California, and you'll see you'll be drifting past, and you'll see the Golden Gate Bridge. Don't stop. I tell them, don't stop. You got to keep going. You're going to keep going back, and you're going to go down. You're going to pass Los Angeles. You'll pass San Diego. As soon as you get to the Mexican side of the border, exit your raft, walk to the border, come across the border, let California give all sorts of goodies for you. We'll come and get you. I do have to remember that when I do that, I should not drive a diesel pickup truck because they hate diesel pickup trucks in California. Not even sure I'd want to afford the gasoline when I go to California. But what's happening right now, and that's the humorous part of things, but in all seriousness, what these people are doing is trying to tell everybody that that the ICE is breaking the law. All ICE is doing is enforcing the laws of this nation. And the news media needs to be honest about that. You don't find that on ABC, NBC, CBS, MSNBC, CNN. You probably don't even find it really on Fox News. The laws of this nation say as soon as you come across, it is the same thing. If I were to go back and I were to go down and I cross the border into Mexico and I'm there illegally and they catch me, I'm spending time in jail and thrown out. And I'll be lucky if I don't spend years in jail because that's what they could do and would do. The thing to remember is not only is ICE trying to enforce the laws of this nation and get the illegals sent home so that we can get people coming across the border documented, which is okay. You need to be documented. Once you're documented, you're free to come into the nation and do things. You have a worker's permit at that point. And yeah, I do admit we need to have a better worker permit, and that's one of those things that we have we can have a discussion on. We can create that, but we need to do that after we get everybody out. The net effect of having all these illegals here is that food prices are higher, housing is higher, wages are down because they're depressing the wages. So you want a livable wage, but you don't want inflation. But when all these illegals here are using our resources, raising the price of everything, what do you think's going to happen? What I'm asking, and all I'm asking is you to start thinking about things. That's the point of this. That's why I'm doing this, to get you thinking about things other than, oh, gee whiz, I'll follow the news. I follow somebody will tell me what to do. I'm not going to tell you what to do. But this has to be stopped. The news media is inflaming this. The news media, unfortunately, is dying, and this is why they're inflaming it. They're trying to create the sensational story that keeps their market and everything alive. Sorry, these people, the people on these channels and that, the people that are doing the hard work and that, doing podcasts, but well before I got on, and that it's the new media. And I'm gonna go through stories, and I'm gonna cover a lot of different stories, and try to get these things posted. So sorry this was a bit long. I do like to tell a story once in a while, so I'll ramble a little bit, but I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for me. And see you on the next one, folks. Thank you much.